10 shocking cases that expose corruption in the U.S. justice system, but how many more remain hidden? From bribed officers to twisted prosecutors and stolen freedoms, these cases reveal a truth far darker than anyone wants to admit. How does justice collapse from the inside? And who paid the price? Stay with me and subscribe now, because the truth you're about to hear is unbelievable. Number 10, bribery behind the badge. The corrupt FBI agent in California. The idea of an FBI agent taking bribes sounds like a movie plot, but this case was very real. A senior agent in California secretly accepted more than $150,000 in cash, gifts, and luxury travel from a lawyer connected to organized crime. In return, he searched federal databases and passed on private information that should have never left the agency. The scandal showed how even people trained to protect the country can be tempted when money and influence are involved. His arrest and conviction shocked the public and raised hard questions about how trusted officials can hide wrongdoing in plain sight. Number 9, a sting that trapped Tennessee lawmakers. In Tennessee, an undercover FBI operation revealed a different kind of corruption. Agents posed as representatives of a fake company and offered bribes to lawmakers who were willing to sell their political power. Several state officials accepted the money without hesitation, proving how quickly public trust can be broken. The operation exposed a network of influence trading that had quietly shaped laws for years. When the truth came out, many lawmakers faced charges, and the public was forced to reckon with how easily personal gain can push aside the needs of citizens. Number 8, kickbacks among Oklahoma County commissioners. Local government often feels distant and routine, but in Oklahoma it became the center of a huge scandal. Nearly half of the county commissioners were caught in a long-running kickback scheme with road contractors. The officials approved inflated prices for materials and then split the extra money as profit. For years, tax dollars meant for repairing roads and building infrastructure were quietly stolen. This case proved that corruption does not need to happen in a big city to be dangerous. When local leaders betray their duty, communities pay the price, one missing road project at a time. Number 7, the fall of Philadelphia's district attorney. The district attorney is supposed to protect the public, but in Philadelphia, the top prosecutor was secretly accepting gifts, cash, and expensive trips. He traded his influence for personal luxury, even while claiming to fight for fairness. When investigators uncovered the truth, he faced federal charges and later served a prison sentence. His downfall was a reminder that even the most powerful people in the justice system can lose their way. The scandal shook the city and damaged public faith in a position that requires honesty above all else. Number 6, prosecutors mishandling the case of Senator Ted Stevens. In Alaska, the prosecution of Senator Ted Stevens became a warning about the danger of cutting corners. Stevens was originally found guilty of hiding gifts, but later it was proven that important evidence was kept from the defense. The case collapsed, and the government apologized for the misconduct. It showed that corruption does not always look like bags of money or secret deals. Sometimes it appears as silence, pressure, or the decision to hide the truth. When prosecutors themselves fail to follow the rules, the justice system loses its balance and innocent people can be harmed. Number 5, the Tulia sting that destroyed dozens of lives. In a quiet Texas town, a single undercover officer caused one of the most tragic wrongful arrest scandals in modern history. Without solid evidence, he accused dozens of black residents of selling drugs, claiming he had bought narcotics from them even when no proof existed. Nearly 1/10 of the town's black population was arrested based on his unreliable word alone. Families were torn apart, and innocent people were sent to prison for long sentences they did not deserve. Years later, when the truth came out, many convictions were overturned and several defendants were pardoned. The case showed how dangerous it is when the justice system trusts the wrong person and ignores fairness. Number 4, corruption inside the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Corruption reached the highest legal stage in Oklahoma when several justices were caught taking large bribes to influence court decisions. These judges were supposed to be the final guardians of justice, but instead they accepted secret payments from people who wanted certain outcomes in important cases. The scandal shocked citizens across the state because it revealed how rulings affecting taxes, businesses, and legal rights had been shaped by money rather than law. Eventually, investigations led to resignations, criminal charges, and a complete public outcry. The case forced major changes to the state's judicial selection process to ensure that such deep corruption could never spread through the court again. Number 3, the Kids for Cash scandal in Pennsylvania. Few scandals have shaken the nation like the Pennsylvania Kids for Cash case, where 2 judges secretly accepted millions in payments from private juvenile detention centers. In return, they sent children to jail for minor misbehavior, often without lawyers or proper hearings. Many kids were locked away for actions that should have resulted in warnings or counseling. The judges traded the futures of thousands of young people for personal profit. When the scheme was exposed, outrage spread nationwide, and the convictions of more than 4,000 juveniles were erased. The scandal remains one of the darkest examples of greed, destroying the lives of the most vulnerable. Number 2, the Rampart division scandal in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, the Rampart Police Division became known for shocking corruption within its anti-gang unit. Many officers engaged in illegal acts like planting evidence, lying in reports, and even selling drugs they had seized. These actions ruined countless cases and sent innocent people to prison. When one officer admitted the truth as part of a plea deal, the entire division's misconduct was uncovered. Dozens of convictions were overturned, and the city paid over $100 million in settlements. The scandal showed how easily a small group of officers can damage the reputation of an entire police department when there is weak oversight and little accountability. Number 1, the Central Park 5 and a nation's failure. The Central Park 5 case became one of the most painful reminders of how race, pressure, and rushed judgment can overwhelm the justice system. 5 teenagers were questioned for hours, intimidated, and pushed into giving false confessions for a crime they did not commit. With little evidence but enormous public anger, they were convicted and sent to prison for years. More than a decade later, the real attacker confessed, and DNA evidence proved the teens were innocent all along. Their exoneration highlighted deep flaws in policing, prosecution, and the way society reacts to fear. The case remains a powerful warning about what happens when the system fails to protect the vulnerable. Conclusion: the truth behind these 10 cases is more than shocking. It's a reminder of how fragile justice can be when the wrong people hold power. Each story shows how corruption destroys trust, ruins lives, and weakens the very system meant to protect us. But exposing these failures is the first step toward change. When people speak up, when evidence is revealed, and when the public refuses to look away, accountability becomes possible. These cases prove that awareness isn't optional, it's necessary. So stay informed, question everything, and keep demanding better. Only then can justice become what it was always meant to be.